You know, that I think some of the officials are intimidated by them at home and let them get away with a little bit more.
I find them real rugged and strong. You know, they love that slow-down game. Of course, they can do that with Big Pat in the middle. I mean, you'd be crazy not to slow it down with Big Pat in the middle and try to get that guy the ball. And you have Anthony Mason and Oakley just pushing guys, and they're real rugged and real tough. And I love their game. I love the way they play.
Next, John went to Cavs star Mark Price, here feeding Cleveland teammate Brad Daugherty, to find out how the Eastern Conference race stacks up this year.
There's three teams that have a legitimate chance, and I think it's New York, Cleveland, and Chicago. So, you know, New York's, like I said, they're getting better all the time. I think they're finally, all their new guys are starting to mesh together. And, of course, you got Chicago, and we feel that we're playing good basketball as well. So I think, you know, it's going to be tough to get out of the East this year.
Now stay tuned as the Knicks meet the Bucks in Milwaukee next here on MSG. I'll be back with our 15-minute edition of the Sports Desk either at 11 o'clock or right after the game.
New York Knicks game night has been...
The head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks has been anything but enjoyable. His club is mired in last place in the Central Division with very little hope for a playoff berth. However, they supplied Pat Riley and the Knicks with plenty of anxious moments when they last met in December. With time running down, Greg Anthony missed the potential game-winning shot, forcing overtime. Then, with the Knicks trailing by 2, Patrick Ewing was unable to connect at the buzzer. For Milwaukee, it was cause for celebration as they ended an 11-game losing streak. Tonight, however, Patrick Ewing and the Knicks welcomed the opportunity for another shot at the Bucks. Welcome to the Barclays Center, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as we get ready for the New York Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks having their problems, a record of 20-32. They've lost 3 in a row. They've dropped 8 of their last 10. As you can see, they are last in the Central Division, while the Knicks at 35-16 now lead the Atlantic Division by 5.5 games over the New Jersey Nets. The Knicks have won 10 of their last 11. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with John Andres. This is the 3rd meeting of the season between these two clubs. They split the previous 2, and John, the Bucks have run the gamut. They have been a different-looking ball club for each of those previous 2 games.
Yeah, surprisingly, in early December when they met, they came in as the NBA's hottest team, believe it or not. They were 10-3 at the time. They did a great job. 10-4 rather, and then the Knicks went out and handled them, no problem, ran right through the Bucks. Here in Milwaukee, a different story. The Bucks came in later in the month with an 11-game losing streak. It all slid away, and did they surprise the Knicks in an overtime 2-point win? They upset the Knicks and were very happy about it. So tonight, who knows what's going to happen, but the Knicks had better be ready because it was proven to them that this young, tough team can do it here in Milwaukee. The Knicks come in as a hot team, so they better be on guard.
Seems like the Bucks are suffering from a little schizophrenia, particularly when they go up against the New York Knicks. Now, John, an illustration of why statistics often have no meaning at all. You look at the Milwaukee Bucks this year, and they show up well in several stat columns. Yet you look at the record, they've won only 20 of their 52 games.
Yes, there are certain statistics that coaches like to focus on and point to as signs of health in a team. And the Bucks are right now first, as they have been for the last couple of years, in turnovers forced, 2nd in steals, 6th in assists. All signs of health for a good team. But as that famous sports prognosticator, star of the movie Meatballs, Bill Murray said, Marv, it just doesn't matter.
Now, some people quote Sophocles, Shakespeare. You quote Meatballs. We'll be back with the starting lineups right after these messages. It's the New York Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks last night lost in Chicago, 99-95. The Knicks defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Garden by the score of 95 to 91. So the Knicks at 35-16. They have won their last 3, resuming following the All-Star break last night. And they made it 23 out of 27 at home. But now it's back to the road, and we're set for the introduction of the Hurt starting lineups.
Charles Oakley. At forward from Pittsburgh, 6'10", number 54, Charles Smith. Go. At center from Georgetown, 7'33", Patrick Ewing. At guard from UNLV, 6'2", number 50, Greg Anthony. And at guard from Oklahoma State, 6'5", number 3, John Starks. Head coach, Pat Riley. Assistants, Dick Harder and Jeff Van Gundy. The trainers, Mike Saunders and Tim Walsh. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are your Milwaukee Bucks. Starting at forward from Seton Hall, 6'9", 00, Anthony Aven. At forward from East Carolina, 6'4", number 30, Blue Edwards. At center from Penn State, 6'9", number 40, Greg Brakowski. At guard from Providence, 6'1½", number 3, Eric Murdoch. At guard from Arkansas, 6'4", number 21, Alvin Robertson. Head coach Mike Dunleavy. Assistants Frank Hamill, Butch Carter, Jim Hyatt.
There's the coach of the Bucks, Mike Dunleavy. New York Knicks coach Pat Riley talking to his club. Last night, Pat not pleased with the Knicks play and blowing a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter to Minnesota. The Timberwolves went to the trap. They successfully pressured the Knicks to get back into it. And John talked about that with the Knicks' Doc Rivers.
Doc, last night it was a difficult time for the team down the stretch, handling the ball and handling the pressure. Undoubtedly, the Bucks will present that tonight. What should the answer be for the Knicks?
Well, get the ball into the press. Yesterday, we broke the press, but we didn't get in our offense very well. But tonight, once we get through the press, we have to get in our offense. We can't wait till there's 5 seconds left on a shot and decide to get in your offense. It's not enough time.
And the Knicks in the past have had their difficulties with the press. That began with the game against the Bulls in Chicago on Christmas night, where the Bulls came from behind with that furious press in the third quarter. In fact, the very next night, the Knicks met the Bucks here in Milwaukee, and the Bucks won in overtime, 102-100. That earlier meeting in early December in New York, and the Knicks won easily at the Garden, 111-98. The officials tonight, Steve Jaffee, Bob Delaney, and David Jones. Patrick Ewing will jump against Anthony Avent, the rookie from Seton Hall, and the Knicks control the tip. Greg Anthony being played by Eric Murdoch. Charles Oakley given room by Frank Brakowski. Here's Charles Smith. And rebounded by Avent. Charles Smith has had some good ones against the Bucks, enjoying the mismatch as the decisive height advantage on the 6'5" Blue Edwards.
Yes, this has been an opponent he has loved playing against. Charles had 17 and 8 rebounds, 17 points, 8 rebounds in their last meeting. The first meeting, 23 points and 8 rebounds.
Alvin Robertson getting the Bucks off to a 2-0 lead. Here's John Starks, felt the pressure and was fouled by Robinson. John Starks making it back from the limited activity last night He had the hot hand. He was 7 for 11 in 23 minutes, 20 points, and ejected for that alleged scrap with Lance Blanks of Minnesota. Still looking for the punches thrown, John.
No punches thrown, Marv. I did talk to the NBA office today about that incident, asking for the interpretation of it. It was the feeling of Rod Thorne expressed to me that Louis Grillo, the official, didn't appreciate the lack of response after the official judged the technical to be called. Both players didn't stop going at each other, and for that reason, when they continued, in his judgment, it was time to get rid of them. But it was a very sensitive call, and it certainly dates back to that incident with Michael Jordan at Indiana.
And Oakley giving the Knicks their first field goal. The Bucks 4, and the Knicks 3. Here's Robertson from deep. Alvin Robertson with a straightaway pop. The Bucks 6, the Knicks 3. The Knicks in recent weeks have improved their play on the road. They are now 12-12. They've won 5 of the last 6 away from home. Strong move by Ewing, yes, and it counts. Patrick Ewing going right at Anthony Avent, who is called for the foul.
Avent is guarding Ewing tonight. Surprisingly, not Brakowski, who's listed at the center, because they want to keep Brakowski out of foul trouble. He's scoring too much for this team. So Avent has drawn that tough job, as he has all season. He's respected by the Bucks for his defense, and he's drawn the toughest assignment for the Bucks tonight against Ewing.
Anthony Avent goes 6'10", 235 pounds. Mentioned Brakowski scoring last night of the loss in Chicago, 26 points, 13 for 23 from the floor, and obviously receiving the respect from Patrick Ewing, but still able to shoot over him.
Boy, that is an impressive quick release jump shot by Brakowski.
Bucks 8, Knicks 6. Off the double team, Ewing got it out. Rebound Smith. And Charles Smith, taking advantage of the height mismatch, has tied it at 8.
I mean, nobody around him could bother Charles. That's where he belongs, planted under the basket.
Murdoch pitches back to Brakowski. So both clubs shooting well here at the start. Robertson went for the steal. He gambled. Anthony beats him down. Bucks 10 and the Knicks 8. 2.5 gone by. Ewing. Rebound, Edwards. Milwaukee has come out and hit its first 5 field goal attempts. Murdoch stopped by Anthony. Oakley knocked it away. Edwards for 3.
That was the big question when they traded for him from Utah. Could Lou Edwards hit the jump shot as John Starks duplicates? Lou Edwards has answered that with fine outside shooting this year.
Bucks 13, the Knicks 11. Defensively, Ewing now guarding Avent. And Avent is fouled. Run into by Ewing.
Ewing slow to respond to Avent's move to the basket. Hooked him with the knee.
So Anthony Avent to the free throw line. Avent, born in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and attended Seton Hall. Led Seton Hall in scoring, rebounding as a senior. He is the highest draft pick ever out of Seton Hall, a first-round selection of Atlanta, 15th pick overall. Played in Italy last year. The Bucks had acquired him in a 3-way deal involving Atlanta and Denver.
The word to describe Avent by the coaching staff here in Milwaukee is that he is solid. He's not a glamorous player. Wasn't that way in college, but he is solid, and the coaching staff, led by the man we're looking at, Mike Dunleavy, loves his game.
Foul line violation against the Knicks, so Avent gets another free throw, but cannot take advantage. Anthony Avent only a 65% free throw shooter. Smith again gets inside.
And you see, Marv, how planned that was, because Patrick Ewing took his man out. Ewing was at the top of the circle as the Knicks made it clear they're going to strike at that mismatch favoring Charles Smith.
Look at that shooting. Bucks 6 for 6. Knicks 5 out of 8. And the rebound handled by Smith. Game tied at 13, and Anthony had to race it down. And just did get it across the midcourt stripe. Ewing with the drop step. Rebound Smith. Oh, wow. Low percentage pass by Charles Smith.
Unselfish, but not the right play, as you point out, Marv. Unselfish by Charles Smith, but too difficult.
Knicks got a break, though, was deflected out by the Bucks. Good pass on the inbound. Smith for Ewing. The Knicks lead 15-13.
Ewing almost got himself into trouble with the fake, as Charles Smith often does. Against this team, Smith or Ewing shouldn't even bother with the fake.
Brickowski to the open Blue Edwards, but an offensive foul is called. Brickowski called for the illegal pick. That's his first foul. So the Knicks get it back. For the Knicks, the start of a 3-game road trip. They'll play the Pistons at the Palace on Friday. Anthony. And then Sunday afternoon, the Knicks and the Nets meet at the New Jersey Meadowlands. Murdoch for Avon. Beautiful lead thrown by Eric Murdoch. Game is tied at 15. Starks off the screen. John Starks gives the Knicks a 17-15 lead.
Well, the screen was beautiful by Charles Smith, but it's the speed of Starks getting to that spot that makes that play so tough to defend.
Foul committed by Anthony. Timeout taken by the Bucks. 6:38 to go. First quarter, the Knicks have a 2.
A real winner knows how to party right. Please use good sense when you drink and know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser, and that's Street Life with Warren Wygratz performing here as usual.
Yes, the sounds of Street Life, as they like to refer to themselves, the official band of the Milwaukee Bucks. Ewing with the block on Avent. The Knicks with a 9-2 run have a 17-15 lead. Starks blowing by Robertson, but then missed the layup.
He couldn't believe it was so easy at the end. He was probably distracted.
Avent stopped by Ewing. Another block for Patrick Ewing, and Starks converts at the other end. Knicks 19, the Bucks 15 halfway through this first quarter. Eric Murdoch out of Providence, second year in the NBA. Utah's #1 pick last year, averaging 8 assists per game. Lost it to Anthony. Here's Oakley giving back to Anthony. Nice pass for Starks. Oakley lost it.
Well, the Knicks big men are showing domination as they did in the first game against this team in December. Ewing with another block. He's got a couple already. How about Charles Oakley's home run pass to Starks?
Murdoch way off, but rescued by Brickowski. Another steal by Anthony. Starks leading Smith, and Smith's pass picked off by Avent. Things opening up. Blue Edwards called for a charge. Charles Oakley taking the hit, and he drew the foul on Edwards.
Not every team has a player willing to take the hit like the Knicks have with Oakley. Simply because it hurts. Not everybody can bear the pain like Oakley does on that play. Although that looked like a clean hit, just kind of solid body hitting solid body.
Don't you get the idea, though? Charles kind of enjoys it.
That's that NFL quality Charles has.
Offensive foul, says the outside official Bob Delaney. Pat Riley upset. Foul on Ewing. That's his second.
Well, that's the best thing that could happen according to the Milwaukee Bucks, because that means Patrick Ewing goes to the bench.
Anthony Mason getting set to check in. Mason coming off a superb game last night against Minnesota. Picked up the slack when John Starks departed on the ejection. Bukowski with that behind the back pass for the setup, then try to back tap, and the ball goes back to New York. Here's Mason. So Ewing will sit down after collecting his second foul. Patrick with 5 points. And the Knicks then will make a shuffle. Charles Smith will be labeled as the center with Mason and Oakley at the forward positions. Anthony and Starks in the backcourt. They double up on Smith, who goes right at Edwards and is fouled.
At 6'4", Blue Edwards has a very demanding challenge right now guarding the 6'10" Charles Smith. Now, I don't think Pat Riley is very unhappy, Marv, at this point in seeing Ewing go to the bench, simply because it'll give this guy, who's enjoyed 2 excellent games against the Bucks this year, a chance to unwind and develop some offensive confidence. He should be able to dominate as Ewing does against the Bucks.
Brad Lohaus coming on, replacing Blue Edwards. Now, you mentioned Edwards 6'4". He's listed at 6'5", but I agree that he is a 6'4", which reminds me of the story involving Sam Perkins, traded by the Lakers to the Sonics on Monday. Perkins shows up in Seattle yesterday. That's Oakley with the steal. Nicely done. Knicks now lead 23-15. Perkins shows up in Seattle yesterday and found out that he's shrinking. He was listed at 6'9.5" by the Lakers all along. Seattle team doctors checked him out. They measured him yesterday at 6'8". And Sam Perkins says, I can't believe that, but after the past 2 weeks, anything is possible.
Well, it certainly wouldn't affect his lovely paycheck.
Oakley with the rebound. A wild pass, careless pass. Charles has not gambled like that in some time, and you know that Pat Riley did not appreciate that.
And it came off a great steal that he made and conversion for layup.
That had been the downside of Charles's game in recent years, because he is a very good passer, so he can take chances. Lohaus tried the 3. Oakley with a nice play. Mason, following the fake, moves it back outside. Gives to Oakley. Charles looking for the jumper tonight. Knicks have an 8-point lead. Smith trying to return. It was broken up. 3-on-2. Robertson for Murdoch, and he's held by Starks.
Number 3, John Starks, charged for his first New York.
Well, after Oakley's peg up court, which we'll see now in a replay, get a look at the coach's reaction.
He's trying to hit Paddle on the sideline, I think, John. 17 lead. Here's pressure by Milwaukee, and Bukowski comes up with a steal. Rebound, Mason. Timberwolves last night, and they threw pressure at the Knicks on December the 26th here in. By what he witnessed the Chicago Bulls pulling off on Christmas night in Chicago by going to the trap. The Knicks have shown to be vulnerable. Anthony with another steal. Anthony goes the distance. Lead of the game.
That 6'11" Lohaus just stood there and played very small. Meanwhile, Marv, going back a few moments ago, Mason did a great job breaking that pressure that the Bucks put up.
Amen off the rim. Rebound. And they have been off following the good start. They hit their first 6 shots, but they've cooled off considerably. Bucks won for their last 11. Bukowski with the steal.
Mason tried to invent a passing lane along the baseline.
Eric Murdoch going glass. He has been a very pleasant surprise. Utah's #1 draft pick last year. Did not see much action at the start of the season, but the Jazz took a hard look at him in February and March. He was not able to prove himself, and then he was non-existent in the playoffs, and he was traded in the deal involving Blue Edwards and Jay Humphries, Larry Kristoviak. 1 minute remaining in this first quarter.
Nice back tap by Charles Smith. He's getting things his way.
Smith. Rebound. Oakley stripped and recovers. Nice hustle, but last touch by Oakley, who was out of bounds. Substitutions. Danny Shays comes on for the first time, replacing Anthony Avent. Here's Doc Rivers, Tony Campbell, Greg Anthony, and Charles Smith sitting down. Smith, the high man for the Knicks, with 8, 3 out of 5 from the field. Knicks 27, Bucks 19. Mason and Brykowski now on the matchup. Brykowski with the dunk under move and foul.
Brykowski felt the...
Oakley on the follow through, so Mason is called for his first. Rivers trying to draw the foul. No call. Murdoch fired from 3-point range. And the Knicks will hold for a final shot. 20 seconds remaining in the quarter. Knicks lead by 8. Rivers hit on the reach-in by Murdoch.
During the All-Star break, Marv, we talked to some of the players about who's the best at faking fouls, drawing fouls. Rivers' name didn't come up. He's very good at it. One of the names surprised me that came up was former Bucks player, now in Seattle, Ricky Pierce. Very good at drawing fouls when they don't appear to be from the player's viewpoint.
Ricky a little bit more deceptive than Doc.
Yeah, Doc is very dramatic.
And deflected out by the Knicks. 2 seconds remaining in the quarter. Knicks lead 27-19. Shays will put it in play. Finds Brykowski. Got the shot off in time. After 1 here at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. It's the Knicks 27, the Bucks 19.
John, this classic play is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic. Enjoy all the Knicks excitement with Coca-Cola Classic. Can't beat the real thing. And it was back on December 26th here in Milwaukee. Todd Day got the ball in 3-point range, sensed Anthony Mason, figured he'd wave at him, let him go by. Then Greg Anthony got a chance to do some flying by, and then Todd Day, with those distractions, hit the 3-point shot. And boy, did the Bucks miss him here tonight. He dislocated his left elbow in early February against Indiana. He's out till April, and he averaged 21 a game in the 2 games against the Knicks.
Now Mike Dunleavy inserting several new faces. John Barry, the rookie from Georgia Tech, who threw that pretty lead to Brad Lohaus, putting Lohaus on the line. So John Barry has come on, along with Lee Mayberry, a rookie from Arkansas, first-round draft pick. Shays up front with Lohaus and Fred Roberts, who just checked in. Mayberry and Barry in the backcourt. John Barry was a #1 draft pick of the Celtics. Could not come to salary terms. Boston trading him to Milwaukee. Campbell looked like Lohaus got a piece of it. That's Barry. Starks got back. Last touch by Starks and John Barry, one of Rick Barry's sons, one of several who have got on to play big time college basketball.
John joined the Bucks when the Knicks met the Bucks for the first time in New York. I remember speaking with him that day. All the confusion of his NBA future ended anyway when he finally signed and was picked up by the Bucks.
And there is the nice touch of John Barry. He was acquired in the deal for Ala Abdul Nabi. Hubert Davis on the floor for the first time. Davis and Rivers in the backcourt. Mason, Oakley, Campbell up front. Knicks by 4. Second quarter just underway. Mason lost the dribble, which is very unusual.
Knicks going with the no center look right now. Pat Riley playing a small team out there with Charles Oakley, the big man. So they kept the middle open for driving opportunities.
And Oakley matched with Shays, who for the most part likes to shoot from the outside. They set up Barry. Lojas, who also has a good outside touch. Rebounded by Rivers. When the Knicks were hunting around earlier this season for a backup to Patrick Ewing before they made the deal for Herb Williams, Brad Lojas, a name that propped up. Reportedly, there was interest on the part of the Knicks, so the Lojas, for the most part, likes to shoot from outside. Bucks started red hot, hitting their first 6, but since then, they have been way off. Here's Shays going to the hoop, and Campbell rebound. Like Danny switched hands in midair, a la his dad, Dolph.
We had a nice visit with at the All-Star game, Marv. Dolph always in the middle of NBA action, whether in sneakers or in a suit.
Dolph had that great move driving down the lane, switching hands on the ball as he was in midair. Lojas with the steal.
I wish the tapes were available of his many great performances at the Garden. Also playing with the cast, which made him a left-handed player quite successfully as well.
I think it will be filmed to get specific.
The two-hand set from where the ball is now. Then the follow through with that arm waving in the air.
Nice play by Rivers on the block, and that causes the 24-second violation. So the Knicks will get it back. Here's that move by Shays.
Starts going left.
Yes.
Back to the right hand.
Very nice, although he did not convert. See if the electronic wizard, Howie Singer, any kind of a producer, in his hip pocket, he'd have tape of Dolph Shays from those Garden days with the Syracuse Nats.
Or film.
Or film, yes, that's true. Anthony Mason giving the Knicks a 29-23 lead. Mayberry off a nice pass. Rejected.
Doc Rivers at 6'4", skied, played the big man on that play.
3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Patrick Ewing, who made his return, goes to the drop step, and he's called for third foul.
You know, it's amazing. Ewing is executing that move exclusively now. That's the only move he's presented, it seems.
And Patrick Ewing continued the argument with Steve Jabbie and was hit with a technical. The last time the Knicks were here, Patrick Ewing was hit with a technical foul. The crowd was all over him. And you may recall Ewing gesturing toward the crowd.
Very similar response. In fact, in that game, there were 6 technicals called, 3 on each team.
The Knicks now lead 29-24.
Well, this is what got Patrick Ewing upset seconds ago. Drives around, walks first, doesn't get called for it. Then he felt that he got fouled very clearly.
Charles Smith has come on, replacing Patrick Ewing. Here's Fred Roberts. Mason with the rebound. 8.5 remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, John Andres from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. For the next start of a 3-game road trip, they'll be at Detroit Friday, at the New Jersey Meadowlands to face the Nets Sunday afternoon. Davis with a nice move, and then tied up. Davis beat Barry off the dribble, but Barry with the good recovery. So Patrick Ewing sitting down with 5 points on 2 out of 5 from the field. 3 fouls on Ewing.
He's had 2 interruptions that have sent him to the bench because of foul problems, so it looks like a frustrating evening building here for Patrick.
Campbell lays it off to Mason. Rejected foul. Foul against Charles Smith.
Oh, Brad Lohaus comes to the rescue in time to stop Anthony Mason's attempt at scoring underneath.
The Knicks 29, Bucks 24. Shea's knocked away by Campbell. Good hands here by both clubs in the first half. A host of deflections, and a foul is called. Foul committed by the Knicks. It's on Campbell. It is a non-shooting affair. Tony Campbell playing against his former club, the Minnesota Timberwolves, last night. A good one off the bench. 5 of 9, 12 points. Roberts getting it into Mayberry. Roberts got it back. Mayberry. Roberts with the tip.
No respect for Roberts. He kept digging. Knicks didn't pay attention to him, and he scores over the Knicks big man.
Nick lead is 3. Rivers digging hard against Mayberry. Mayberry has very quick feet. Here's Smith trying to slither his way in and was stopped. Last touch by the Bucks, so it's Nick Ball with 8 on the 24.
Charles lost his footing after getting 2/3 of the way there.
8 on the shot clock. Knicks with only 2 points the last 7.5 minutes. Well, Doc Rivers extends to a 31-26 lead. Lohaus to the hook. Brad Lohaus over Charles Smith.
Everybody ran up court, leaving Doc Rivers alone with no one to inbound the ball to. Fortunately, Tony Campbell picked up on it. But Doc thought it best to go the timeout route.
There are plenty of
1 of 11. Knicks were on a roll, and they have dropped off. Pat Riley now going with a combination of Mason, Campbell, and Smith up front. He has Rivers and Davis in the backcourt. Lohaus with the steal, and he drew the foul. It's on Campbell.
That's disappointing for Tony Campbell because he's getting a chance now to handle the ball. That was one of the points made when the Knicks traded for him, that he could play the forward or guard position. He hadn't had much shot at guard.
Getting more opportunity, as is Hubert Davis, with Rolando Blackman placed on the injured list. Shea's getting inside to cut it to a 1-point Knick lead.
Beautiful left-handed shot by Danny Shays.
So the Bucks with a 13-4 run. Rolando Blackman is traveling with the team on the injured list with that sprained right knee. Barry with the steal. Oh, what a feed for Lohaus.
Oh, that's terrific. What a play by John Barry. You didn't think he had the awareness of his teammate, but he did, obviously.
So the Bucks lead by 1. Bucks have come from way back. Rivers rebounded by Roberts.
Well, I believe it was 27-17. Knicks turnovers getting them in trouble.
Yes, the Knicks led by as many as 10. Barry took his eye off the ball for an instant, and it cost. He was looking for the quick release jump shot.
So it's a 15-4 run by the Bucks since the end of the first quarter. Same thing happened last night. The Knicks had an excellent first quarter, which is basically when they won the game, when they had the 9-point lead. The rest of the way, they were outscored most of the way. Same thing happened in Chicago last night, though, too, with the Bucks. Bulls won the game in the first quarter.
Barry, Mayberry, way off. Starks, who just checked back in, goes to the pull-up.
Yes.
John Starks off the bench to hit on his first attempt. Knicks lead 33-32. You mentioned the game last night, Milwaukee losing in Chicago, 99-95. Bucks have now lost 13 straight at Chicago Stadium. They have not won in Chicago since February of '88. Shays has come on to give the Bucks a lift. And they lead by 1. Just under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Shot clock down to 6. Smith. Air ball handled by Lohaus. Charles Smith last night hit only one of his first 8, finished 3 of 12. Lohaus for 3. Well, he'll take it. 3-pointer for Brad Lohaus. Bucks 37. The Knicks 33.
He's now made 41 three-point shots this season. It's a hefty number for a guy 6'11".
Smith is fouled. Charles Smith will go to the line, fouled by Dan Shays. Yes, you mentioned the 3-pointers by Lohaus. That is 36% for the season, which is also a good number for a guy 6'11" or 5'11".
This team takes a lot of three-point shots. They took 11 last night in Chicago, 14, 11, 19 their last couple of games. It's a lot of three-point shots as Herb Williams enters the scene.
Herb has not been receiving the playing time recently. Sat out the last 2 games. But could get the time tonight. Patrick Ewing in early foul trouble. He has 3. And will not see any action in this first half or the rest of the way with 4 minutes to go. Bucks by 2. Knicks show some pressure. This Milwaukee front line has done a good job. Lohaus, Shays, Roberts. A little volleyball effect. And it's last touch by the Knicks.
Well, Knicks are hurting without Ewing on the bench with those 3 fouls.
And Barry regroups. Picked off by Smith. Starks for 3. Mayberry guns it down to Roberts. Barry for 3. John Barry's played well. Has not had success with the 3-pointer. That's his 5th of the year. He's 5 for 20. Bucks lead 40-35. Matches their biggest lead of the night. Lohaus called on that foul. Only the second team foul committed by Milwaukee.
The last Bucks win was 4 games ago against the Charlotte Hornets. John Barry had 18 points in 17 minutes.
Williams, nice lead thrown by Starks. Bucks 40, Knicks 37, with just under 3 minutes remaining in the half.
That defense by Fred Roberts was an example of Matador defense. Really just let the guy come right through. Often you'll hear coaches refer to Matador defense. It's not a very positive reference.
Timeout has been taken.
It's a great reason to buy the other. John Barry on the steal, and he runs that loose ball down, and what a pass he delivers to Brad Lohaus. Beautifully done.
And off the inbounds, beautiful setup. And a foul is called. Mayberry took a hard hit. So Mayberry to the free throw line. Mayberry has been a very poor foul shooter, only 47% from the line.
Great defender, though, a bright rookie playing behind Eric Murdoch at the point guard position. Some think he could be the point guard of the future for this team, although Murdoch has been terrific thus far this season.
Bucks by 5, 2:25 remaining first half. Here is Williams. And the putback handled by Oakley, so the Bucks now lead 42-39.
Fundamentally perfect response by Oakley when he got that rebound. Right up with it.
Rakowski found Shays, but it was knocked away. Good play. Combination of Smith and Williams break it up. 14 on the 24. Mayberry forced it. He was double teamed.
2 minutes.
Traveling violation.
Knicks didn't respond well to John Starks' drive. Too many defenders in the way. You got to pull out when you see your teammate driving to the basket. Take the defenders away. Open up the lane for him.
Mike Dunleavy has stayed with his bench, although Rakowski has come on now. Bench has done a good job. Rakowski over Williams. Milwaukee bench has outscored the Knicks bench 21-6.
That's keeping with what's been going on the last 4 games, as the Bucks have been outscoring their opponents from the bench significantly.
Starks, hard driving move.
A Midas bench breakdown showing the Milwaukee Bucks dominating the Knicks from the bench this evening. What a tremendous performance for the first half alone.
So Starks to the line. Minute 17 remaining in the first half. Bucks with a 2-point lead.
It was clear to the Knicks that John Starks' absence last night after he got tossed really hurt the team. What he just did, that drive to the basket, that quality is what they missed against the Timberwolves.
Milwaukee by 1. At one stretch, Knicks led by as many as 10. Bucks have led by as many as 5. Roberts. Oakley with a one-hand rebound. Starks played the outlet. Starks with the spin.
Bob, that pass by Oakley was so well done. He threw to the spot where he knew Starks would be.
Starks the high man with 14. Knicks by 1. 45 seconds left. First half. Barry gives it back. Rakowski. And Milwaukee takes a 1-point lead.
Now there he reminded me of his father, John Barry, emulating the great passing of Rick Barry.
Anthony spinning his way through. What a move by Greg Anthony. We've seen some outstanding individual efforts in this first half. Knicks 45, Bucks 44. Contrast to last night's game, very dull and sloppy. This a good first half. Bucks playing the clock down. 10 seconds remaining. Roberts. So the Bucks by 1. Final seconds of the half. Down to 5. Anthony goes all the way. Greg Anthony with another strong drive. Barry, can he get it off? He does. That would have counted. Halftime in Milwaukee, and the Bucks lead by 3. It's the Bucks. Well, they just changed the scoreboard. Bucks lead by 2. It's the Bucks 47. And the Knicks 45. Bob Page coming up at the MSG Sports Desk. And we'll be back with halftime highlights. Bucks 47, Knicks 45 here at the Bradley Center. As we were heading to the commercial break, this is correct. At the half, it's the Knicks 47 and the Bucks 46. And right here, let's go over to Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk.
Marv, this is not the way Chuck Daly wanted to start off the season after the NBA All-Star break, the second half of the season. The awful Nets performance last night at Charlotte has been followed up by this evening at Boston, facing a Celtics team that has lost the last 4 games. New Jersey now trails 80-71 early in the fourth quarter. Chris Ford, in fact, has seen the Celtics beaten up, blown out the last couple contests. They came out quickly tonight. However, here, D. Brown stripped by Kenny Anderson ahead to Chris Morris for a jam that cut Boston's early lead to 21-16. The lead just 2 going into the second quarter, where now Anderson loses the basketball. Reggie Lewis out with it, wrapped up by Derek Coleman. Lewis still hits the shot and gets the call. Celtics led by 16 at halftime, by 10 going into the fourth quarter. At Philly, this is the only Sixers fan not steamed at the way the teams look this year. Sixers hanging tough for a while, but Atlanta went on a 10-2 run to close out the first half. Ex-Net Mookie Blaylock, 2 triples during the run. Atlanta by 7 in intermission. Third quarter, great ball movement. Mookie eventually to Dominique in the corner for a tray and the foul call. Hawks go up by 15, blowing the Sixers out. Philly will lose for the 10th time in its last 11 games. Off the court, Xavier McDaniel fined $3,500 today by the NBA front office for a recent altercation with Houston's Carl Herrera. And Michael Jordan listed as day-to-day with an ankle sprain he suffered last night in a victory over Milwaukee. Given up for dead by most people just a few weeks ago, University of Connecticut suddenly has turned its entire season around. Tonight at Storrs, UConn held off Boston College 69-64. It was the Huskies' 5th straight Big East win and 6th win in a row overall. Jim Calhoun and the Huskies trailed by 3 at halftime. Late in the second half, Scotty Burrell, playing his final game at the Gamble Pavilion, hits a triple to give UConn the lead at 55-53. Burrell 21 points, team high. BC did come back to tie it twice, last time here at 60, but Kevin Ollie with a pretty layup to put UConn ahead for good. Huskies break their third-place tie with BC at 9-6. They're 1 game back of St. John's and host first-place Seton Hall Saturday afternoon in Hartford. Also tonight, Fordham beat Rice 69-67, and Iona turned back Siena 96-90. I'll have more right after these messages.
There's nothing else like it on.
At Yankees GM Gene Michael and reliever Steve Howe exchanging angry words in the clubhouse, supposedly over how Steve's drug tests were to be administered. Today, when John Heyman of New York Newsday attempted to question Michael about the incident, tempers flared. Ditto Steve Howe's when we asked him what had happened.
There's a difference about news and there's a difference about manufacturing news. And frankly, I'm getting a little tired of the manufacturing of the news, you know. You want an interview, you want to talk baseball, let's talk baseball. Okay. The other stuff, I'm not going to comment on it, and personally, you know, I don't think it's anybody's business.
We'll check in with the Mets training camp and have more from the MSG Sports Desk tonight at 11 o'clock or right after the Knicks game. And the Rangers play at Vancouver this evening. A reminder that you'll be able to see that contest live over our MSG2 service beginning at 10:30. We'll return to Marv and John in Milwaukee in just a moment.
If you find the interest rate on your credit card to be...
Wade Boggs, Don Mattingly. The 93 hit parade begins in March. Yankees baseball on MSG.
At Forest Green Co-op Apartments in Islip, owning is affordable as never before. It's a home with your own style. It's taking a swim just steps from your door and not getting sand in your shoes. It's working out in the exercise center. It's entertaining friends in the clubhouse. It's just seconds from the station and minutes from the shore. Owning can happen for only $39,000 and financing's available. At Forest Green in Islip, owning is the way to live. Call us today.
When Jiffy Lube says we've got experience, they mean it. They've got more trained technicians, more locations, and they've serviced more cars than any other fast lube. So what oil do they use? Pennzoil, the most asked-for motor oil in America. It protects more engines and more new car warranties than any other oil. So do what most people do. Take your car to #1. Take it to Jiffy Lube.
Free discount club membership with our 14-point full service saves you $3 on your next service.
Score is brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep. It's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. John Starks leading the Knicks with 14 points, 5 out of 10 for the 14. Charles Smith doing well against the Bucks once again. 10 points for Smith, 6 apiece for Oakley and Anthony. Ewing with 3 fouls has only 5 points, played just 8 minutes in the first half. Brad Lohaus off the bench, 13 minutes, 3 of 6, 9 points. No one in double figures. Brikowski and Murdoch 6 apiece, 5 points for Shays and 5 for Barry. Pretty good first half, although we may be actually searching for anything off last night's performance. Really an awful game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but both clubs performing well. Many individual efforts that were outstanding in this first half. Some good passing.
Yes, but the Bucks, the home team here, are hustling very well tonight. They're playing as if the game has a lot more meaning to them. as they did last time these two teams met, and they're giving the Knicks a lot of trouble. But for all intents and purposes, Marv, the Knicks played without Patrick Ewing for a half.
And Ewing with only 8 minutes, 5 points, 3 fouls. So Pat Riley had to do some shuffling in that first half. We'll shuffle some highlights here, which are brought to you by Minolta, creators of the world's most responsive SLR cameras, the new Maxim XI series.
Well, Charles Oakley gave the Knicks some good moments in the first half. He played 18 minutes, made 3 out of 4 of his shots. He saw a loose ball and out-pursued the Bucks for it, and then converted with a slam dunk. Charles doesn't get a chance to do that often, but he did that well. And Charles with that one-handed rebound and a perfect lead pass that John Starks caught up with and spun his way in for a hoop. Nicely also by Starks. Bucks got terrific bench play in the first half. Fred Roberts moved the ball, good passing, one big man to another, the low house. John Barry sized up the seams on that shot before he popped it successfully. Barry did a nice job in 12 minutes, 5 points. John Barry followed that up with a steal, and his ability to run it down made it all work. And he peeked out and saw Brad Lohaus running in. The 6'11" Lohaus had a layup.
Knicks did out-rebound the Bucks in the first half, 26-16. They lead by 1 at halftime.
After weeknight Knick and Ranger home games.
5% shooting in that first half, 19 of 42. The Bucks hit their first 6 and then went 1 for 11. So they had their ups and downs. Knicks with the edge off the boards, led by Oakley, who had 9, 26-16 advantage. And that has been the key. The Bucks have done it off the bench.
Knicks leading with turnovers, which oddly enough hasn't hurt them that much. They've only surrendered 6 points off 13 turnovers. Dutch boy in the paint, demonstrating once again the offensive rebounds where the Knicks have been superior, as they should be. Their front court scoring, however, edge goes to the Bucks, who didn't have to look at Patrick Ewing but for 8 minutes of the first half. But he's back.
Yes, both Mike Dunleavy and Pat Riley going to their starting lineups. Mike Dunleavy, the man who took over the Los Angeles Lakers following the departure of Pat Riley, left the Lakers signing an 8-year contract with Milwaukee. Shot clock down to 2. Murdoch rebounded by Edwards. Nice feed. Edwards for Murdoch. The Bucks lead 48-47. Greg Anthony, John Starks open in the backcourt. Charles Smith, Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley up front. Oakley on a putback. He has 8 points. Knicks lead by 1.
I mean, the front line size discrepancy favors the Knicks dramatically. Question now is, can they capitalize on this edge that they have in size?
Robertson with a back in on Starks. Alvin Robertson, 9th year out of Arkansas. They call him the real steal, 3rd in steals in the NBA last year, and among the leaders once again this season. Smith was in, but he missed.
He cannot convert as well as he should around the basket.
Won't count. Offensive foul. It's a charge, and Greg Anthony took the shot.
Bucks accelerating their offense now. They want to run more. Avent, however, runs over Greg Anthony. The Knicks do excel in that department. Their players will take the charge.
Avent committing his 2nd. Minute and a half gone by in the 3rd. Knicks with the ball down by 1. Knicks have won 3 in a row, 10 of their last 11. They are 5.5 in front of the 2nd place New Jersey Nets. And they have a percentage lead for the overall best record of the Eastern Conference, leading Chicago. Ewing with the steal, 2-on-1. Anthony gives it back. Anthony with the assist, Ewing with the steal and the bucket. Patrick Ewing these days looking more and more to jump out and come up with that steal.
That was a demonstration of team defense all the way. Although Ewing looked like he made the big play, his teammates really set it up.
and on a hesitation dribble threw up a brick. Knicks have a 1-point lead. Oakley. Edwards with the rebound.
Wells with the follow-through ended up on his back.
Ewing playing with 3 fouls. Brykowski. He was able to take advantage.
That was a breathtaking move by Brykowski. So fast in the execution and so beautifully done.
Milwaukee by 1. Here's Starks. Smith. And this time was able to convert. No stuff. He laid it in to give the Knicks a 53-52 lead. Blue Edwards. Brykowski with a good play.
3 Knicks. But Brykowski out-hustled him.
Bucks 54. The Knicks 53. Anthony lost it. Murdoch with a steal. He has Brykowski with him. Good hustle by Anthony. Got back to break it up.
Pat Riley furious. Expressing himself to official Bob Delaney. Felt his man was fouled. Greg Anthony.
And Greg Anthony getting a rise out of the crowd. Apparently knocked a beverage into a lady's hair. And Knicks assistant trainer Tim Walsh very quick to come over and provide a towel. Here's Anthony. Gone by in the 3rd quarter.
Brykowski signaling for Avent to cut baseline so they can set this play up. Now Brykowski's going to continue his verbal assault on his teammate.
Oakley was called for his first.
Brykowski top of the circle moments ago, signaling to Avent, cut, go baseline. Avent didn't get the message.
Off the inbounds. Mayberry slipped and fell down. Oakley with the rebound. Starks rejected and fouled.
Now, what's...
No, wait a moment. They call it the other way. It's on Starks. It's an offensive foul.
Knicks have not found the way to create the Patrick Ewing monster that they want to create. Ewing is just another guy out there with the Knicks.
Pat Riley in a discussion with Greg Anthony, who has been replaced by Doc Rivers. Brykowski spinning Oakley.
Oh, the left hand made it happen.
12 points for Frank Brykowski. He's the high man for the Bucks, who now lead 56-53.
Brykowski could give a clinic in big man moves in response to what the defense presents tonight.
Ewing posting up on Avent. Nice ball movement. Smith.
If you want your 6'10" forward taking an 18-foot jump shot at the end of that.
Brykowski lost it. Took his eye off the ball. Anthony Mason is getting set to check in, but first the Bucks call for time with 6:47 remaining, 3rd quarter.
And it happened, and he filled that lane up and got the reward of his astute defensive play. He got the slam dunk.
Bucks with a 3-point lead. Anthony Mason has checked in. He's being guarded tightly by Blue Edwards. Mason, Ewing, Oakley up front. 3-second violation on Ewing. Knicks only 3 of 11 here in the 3rd. Bucks open up 5 for 9. Mayberry, Robertson at the guards. Up front, Avent, Brykowski, and Edwards. Mayberry gets it off to Avent, who's being guarded by Ewing. Ewing playing with 3 fouls. Robertson beat his man. Starks gambled and could not get back. Bucks by 5. That matches their biggest lead of the night. Ewing with the fake, series of fakes, but could not convert. Shot clock down to 7. Rakowski is open. He has 14, and Milwaukee has a 7-point lead.
Milwaukee is getting a new Alvin Robertson here tonight. He had a 14-game absence. Look at that 10-2 run for the Bucks right now. He was injured and came back 4 games ago. Hasn't scored much, but tonight he's doing it all. And Patrick Ewing is having a nightmare visit once again to Milwaukee. Robertson drawing the attention as the penetrating guard. Burkowski, such a reliable jump shooter, comes through.
And as we discussed earlier, Frank Burkowski has been on a roll offensively. Had an excellent game last night in Chicago, 12 for 23, 26 points. Burkowski 4 of 4 for 8 points this third quarter. Bucks by 7. Oakley foul. And he'll go to the line. He was hit on the hand by Avent.
Oh, we're halfway through the third quarter, Marv, and this game reminds me so much of last week in Charlotte when the home team dominated the game through 3 quarters. Looked like the game was going their way, as this looks like it's going the Bucks' way, until the dramatic performance by a combination of Starks and Ewing took the game over. Well, boy, that's what the Knicks need now, particularly from Patrick Ewing, who's had a very, very down and frustrating night, starting with his foul problems in the first half, which limited him to 8 minutes.
Avent departs. Shays, who played well in the first half, checks back in. Charles Oakley has had a solid performance, 10 points, 12 rebounds. The Knicks are down by 5 with just under 5 minutes remaining in the third. Marv Albert, John Andres from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Robertson. 10 points for Robertson. Bucks lead by 7.
He had made a field goal in the last 2 games, and tonight he's on fire.
Ewing got the roll. Yes, Alvin Robertson, only 10 minutes playing time last night, 0 for 3, did not score. Robertson again looking for that quick release shot. How about stop by Starks?
Great hands, though, Marvin, his ability to recover.
Shot clock at 5. Edwards. Rebounded by Mason. Doc Rivers, a local product, played his college ball at Marquette. Got from Maywood, Illinois. Fired up the 3.
Doc's so excited about the University of Cincinnati coming here to Milwaukee tomorrow to play against Marquette.
Yes, the Bearcats are back. Edwards tried the lead. Now Hubert Davis will come on. And Charles Oakley sits down, so Pat Riley is going with yet a new combination. 3 guards, Starks, Davis, and Rivers, along with Mason and Ewing.
This is the exact lineup that turned the game around in Charlotte last week.
At the game right before the All-Star break, Knicks coming from behind to beat the Charlotte Hornets. Edwards. Down to 3:15 left in the third. And the Knicks are down by 5. That is a light block. Mayberry getting a foot on it. Knicks get the new 24. Brent Lohaus comes back on. And he replaces Alvin Robertson. So Mike Dunleavy going the other way. His club getting bigger while the Knicks go to the small lineup. Mason given room by Burkowski. Edwards, rather Shays playing Ewing, and Patrick Ewing is now 4 for 10 from the field. Brykowski. Bucks by 7, and the Knicks take a timeout.
Catch all the latest news, scores, and highlights.
Big game for Alvin Robertson tonight. Alvin, one of the game's outstanding stealers in the NBA. Our Old Spice leaders show the people in the NBA who are at the top, and Alvin Robertson right behind the all-time NBA steal leader, Maurice Cheeks. Alvin has led the NBA in thefts for 3 years over the last 5 years. Here's another interesting. Guards with more steals than turnover. This is the list right now. More steals than turnovers. Robertson and Greg Anthony right at the top.
Bucks have a 7-point lead with 2 minutes 35 seconds left in the third quarter. Nick Ball down to 7 on the shot clock, and Rivers was fouled. This is an impressive statistic. Gary Payton of Seattle leading in this department, followed by Robertson and then Anthony.
That's this season, of course.
Foul call on Brykowski, his second. Alvin Robertson, in his 4th year with Milwaukee, came from San Antonio to the Bucks in that deal involving Terry Cummings.
There's no Michael Jordan part of that lineup. I mean, one of the many things that he does so well. It's boring to talk about him. He's so good in every statistical category.
Crowd reacted. They felt that Ewing should have been called for a 4th foul. Illegal defense, the call, for the first time against the Knicks. So that's the first violation. Bucks get the new 24. Lohaus up front now with Shays and Brykowski. Edwards playing at a guard position. Edwards and Mayberry in the backcourt. Mayberry guarded by Davis. Lohaus lost it. The steal by Rivers. Edwards nearly was able to retrieve. Good play by Lohaus. Good hands all around. Shot clock at 7. Rivers. And Lohaus off the board. Good defense by the Bucks here in the third quarter. Pass intended for Lohaus.
Well, the Bucks fought the Chicago Bulls in Chicago last night, only lost by 4 points. They put forth a terrific effort there, and they're duplicating it here at home.
Knicks with only 11 points in this third quarter. They've been outscored 17-11 as we come up on 1 minute remaining in the third. Ewing, yes, and it counts. So Patrick Ewing, fouled by Dan Shays, will go to the line.
Ewing getting the ball in good position. Lohaus doesn't bother him. Patrick continuing to go to that running one-handed shot. Hits it nicely. Goes over and has a chat with Anthony Mason about their strategy.
Patrick Ewing is 5 for 10 from the field. Completes the 3-point play. And the Bucks lead by 4.
The graphic showing Ewing with 1 rebound is quite telling. The question is, Marv, when he gets himself in foul trouble, does he let up? Does he lose all of his aggressiveness? The number certainly would indicate that.
Here's Brykowski. And that is rebound number 2, handled by Ewing. They double up on Mason. And the officials checking with each other. The outside official, Bob Delaney, had the better look. And he makes the call. Last touch by Milwaukee. David Jones screened out. He was about to say last touch by the Knicks. So it's Nick Ball with 13 on the shot clock. Half minute remaining in this third quarter. Anthony Mason fed nicely by Hubert Davis. will go to the line. Rakowski charged with his third foul. Mason to the line for the first time. He's had a quiet game coming off a very strong performance last night. Moses Malone, who has been on the injured list, underwent back surgery mid-November, sitting it out. Sam Vincent also out with a ruptured Achilles tendon. Heard any good jokes lately, Moses?
That's a rare sight. See Moses Malone so happy. Of course, he's happy because he just started playing basketball again after the operation for the herniated disc. He may be back in April. Moses is looking at his 38th birthday coming up the end of March.
The other injury suffered by Milwaukee, the rookie Todd Day, as we discussed earlier, out with a dislocated elbow. They expect to be back early April. Final seconds of the quarter. Shays. Bucks lead 66-61. Rivers from three-point range after three quarters. It's the Milwaukee Bucks 66. The New York Knicks 61.
You know you want it.
You're right. I'm on it.
It's the BMW 525i.
I know. I want it bad. So bad. Real bad.
Did you know you can handle it?
This car was born to be handled.
Well, for a limited time, you can really handle the 525i. With special low-interest finance rates and special low lease rates.
I can handle it.
The 525i. Now it's even easier to handle at your Tri-State BMW dealer.
Did you see the game, bro? We see everything. Get in here.
Please sit down. Now listen closely, Shaquille. We're only going to say this once.
If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue.
Or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch.
If neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count on you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving man.
With 60 seconds worth of distance run. Yours is the earth and all that's in it.
Which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Listen closely, baby.
My name is Sean Ryans. If you need anything in home entertainment, nobody beats the Wiz.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Reebok, who reminds you that life is short. Play hard. By Nissan, it's time to expect more from a car. And by Mobil Super Unleaded Plus. Drive your engine clean with Mobil Super Unleaded Plus, the detergent gasoline.
Listen, you guys, remember when you're having good times with friends, use good sense and drink responsibly because friends know when to say when. Reminder from Budweiser.
John, you have such a way with children, teaching the lessons of life.
Well, Pat Riley's trying to teach his team good winning basketball. He's having a very tough time.
14-point third quarter by the Knicks. They had a 14-point quarter last night at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Knicks only 5 for 19 in the third. Herb Williams back on the floor. And Herb Williams comes through with a second field goal. He has 4 points. So the Bucks now lead 66-63. Milwaukee was 10 for 20 in the third. Good play by Williams.
That's the Herb Williams the Knicks saw earlier this season.
Starks, Rivers, and Davis comprising a three-guard offense once again for the Knicks with Mason and Williams as the big man. Mason to the fadeaway. Rebound, Shays. Thought he was fouled by Rivers. Here's Barry, played well in the first half. Lou Edwards. Well, he hit from outside earlier, but has not been hitting the long-range shot. Knicks put the ball down by 3. Herb Williams over Danny Shays. Shays with Lohaus and Edwards up front. Mayberry and Barry in the backcourt.
Herb Williams very unhappy he didn't get a foul call.
Lohaus. That was a difficult shot. He was going right to the left and surrounded.
Fortunately for him, going left meant he could shoot that ball with his left hand and have a little protection.
Brad Lohaus has played well, 11 points. Bucks lead it by 5. And that call away from the ball. It's on Mayberry. Here's Alvin Robertson checking back in. Robertson replacing Edwards, who is 1 of 7 from the field. Now look at the starting forwards for Milwaukee. Avent 1 for 7. Edwards 1 for 7. Williams. Oh.
Bad miss.
Mayberry played on a switch. Rivers hit the floor. It counts for the foul. Shays with the field goal and will go to the line.
Bucks getting that ball inside to Shays. He was down deep. He was allowed to catch the ball deep. That should be an automatic 2, and it was.
And a technical foul called on Doc Rivers just prior to Shays being fouled by Williams. Rivers was knocked to the floor. He thought that he should have gotten the call, did not. Had some words, and here's Shays hitting the technical. Shays with 10 points.
Pat Riley is doing something very interesting now. He has been so successful this year moving his players in and out, but you would wonder why he's going with Herb Williams now for this sustained period over Ewing.
Danny Shays, best free throw shooter on the Bucks. Milwaukee 71, Knicks 63. Well, apparently a brief rest for Ewing, who's about to come back in. Mason had it knocked away. Looked like he jammed his finger. And a foul called on the Knicks. It's on Williams, and a technical foul charged to Pat Riley, who's in the face of Steve Javie. And another technical foul. He has been ejected. Consecutive technicals on Pat Riley. And now Riley arguing with Bob Delaney, who points in the direction of the Knick locker room.
Pat's in no hurry.
And apparently another technical has been indicated on Anthony Mason. Mason was upset. Earlier, he thought he was fouled. So 3 consecutive technicals as Pat Riley heads back to the locker room.
Pat Riley plans every move during a game. And I don't have any question, Marv, that he planned his disappearance in some ways. I mean, I may be wrong, but his team is going nowhere in this game, and I think he felt he had to do something dramatic, even at the risk of getting himself ejected.
Well, Shays shooting the technicals. Certainly that's in the area of a guess, because Pat will not admit it if it is so. It's possible guys do that. And now the Knicks will be coached by the combination of the veteran Dick Potter, one-time head coach in the NBA, and has had a very successful college coaching career, assisted by Jeff Van Gundy. So Dick Carter and Jeff Van Gundy will get a crack at it here with Pat Riley departing on the technicals. The Bucks now lead by 10. It's their biggest lead of the night. Here's Barry, rebounded by Smith.
Let's see if the Knicks can manufacture the emotion that they were not delivering for Coach Pat Riley.
Charles Smith back on the floor. Stopped by Lojas. Smith lost it. Murdoch for Robertson. Foul by Davis.
Well, I'll tell you, Marv, it's so difficult to understand why Charles Smith has such a difficult time under the basket.
There we were.
Foul. Notice when he, top of the screen is bumped by Danny Shays, driven to the floor. He and Pat Riley objected to that. He was the one who was driven to the floor. Rivers got the technical. Riley supported him to the point of getting ejected himself.
And a total of 5 technicals have been called on the Knicks. 2 on Pat Riley, the others on Patrick Ewing in the first half. Doc Rivers, Anthony Mason. So Pat Riley sent back to the Knicks locker room. Milwaukee has done it with a terrific effort from the bench. The Buck bench outscoring the Knicks bench 34-9. Very quiet game for Patrick Ewing, who has been plagued by fouls. 8:45 remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Bucks have their biggest lead of the night. Here's Ewing with the spin. And the Knicks able to get back to it. Smith with the back tap. Now Starks spinning his way, and he drew the foul.
You see the pressure Starks puts on the defense by taking the ball to the basket. Marv, I don't think Patrick Ewing has taken the ball to the basket more than twice maybe tonight. And I really think it traces to his getting in foul trouble. He is deathly afraid. He hates to sit on the bench, which is a great commentary on his desire. But it inhibits his game style so much. He's not putting pressure. He's taking jump shots or fall-away shots or non-pressure moves.
Lojas called for that foul that put Starks on the line. Bucks 74, Knicks 65. Lee Mayberry operating at the, rather Eric Murdoch operating at the point guard position. Murdoch and Robertson in the backcourt. Lojas, Brakowski, and Shays up front. Good job of fronting by Oakley. Here's Murdoch. Wild shot off balance. Starks for 3. Shays on the rebound and took a shot from behind from Oakley.
Knicks can't seem to do anything right. That was not a smart play by Oakley. The man had complete control of the ball. They can't seem to get any sustained good shooting or scoring tonight at all, and certainly few fast breaks. No easy baskets.
Knicks shooting is down to 37%, the 25 out of 68. Lojas for 3. Brad Lojas with 14 points. The Bucks by 12. Rivers for 3. Yes. Doc Rivers answers. The Bucks 77. The Knicks 68.
Well, the Knicks pride themselves on their ability to finish a game. They have time.
The Knicks being coached by the combination of assistants Dick Carter and Jeff Van Gundy, with the departure of Pat Riley. Able to technicals. Shays recovers, and he's fouled. Fouled by Oakley. Danny Shays spending much time at the free throw line. Danny Shays with 12 rebounds, 12 points, has been a major factor off the bench. Danny Shays in his 12th NBA season out of Syracuse. Last year played only 43 games after after undergoing arthroscopic knee surgery in February. Did not play. Did not return after that. He's a wide body type player, clogs the middle. And when he is most effective, he's having the type of game he's having right here. 12 rebounds, 14 points, and is on his way to establishing season highs.
Of 16 points and 15 rebounds. He is getting closer, and he's making his father very happy, who is one of our dish viewers.
Yes, he is.
In Syracuse. Dolph reminded us of that this weekend.
So during those commercial breaks, don't say anything bad at all about Dolph or the Shays family. Ewing. And Loha snatches the rebound. The Bucks with an 11-point lead. Marv Albert, John Andres from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And they extend to a 13-point margin. Biggest lead of the game. Had a shot by Eric Murdoch. Rivers trying the three. Rebound through the hands of Mason, saved by Burkowski.
One of the things that's working so well for the Bucks is that the Knicks are not offering any good outside shooting, which means they can really double and triple Ewing.
Robertson for three. Mason gets to the rebound. Starks. He attempted from three-point land. Here's Starks. Oh, hard driving move by John Starks, who has 18 points. The Bucks 81, the Knicks 70.
It is only Starks who is forcing that ball to the basket among the Knicks players.
As you may have seen, the Nets lost again tonight. 3-second violation is called. So it will be Knick ball. The Celtics beat the Nets 103-88. Nets having their problems following the All-Star break. Atlanta walloped Philadelphia 132-107. Washington beats Indiana 105-101. Portland continues to struggle. Ewing hit on a reach-in. Miami, in Miami, knocks off Portland 102-91. Burkowski picks up his fourth. Knicks 8 for 31 in the second half.
Celtics bounced back from that 27-point embarrassment last night against Indiana.
Right now, the Knicks are 6 full games in front of the Nets. Here's Mason. Bucks 81. The Knicks 72 as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in the game.
The Knicks look like they believe they can do it.
Here's Lohaus. So the Bucks extend to an 83-72 lead. Starks for three. John Starks with a 3-point field goal cuts it to an 8-point lead. 21 for Starks.
They have to get defensive stops now that they have not been able to put together.
Burkowski wide open. Crowd wanted a travel call. Starks is crunched by Robinson. John Starks at first looked for the three and then off the fake. He drew the foul. Starks is 2 out of 4 from downtown. It's John Barry back on the floor.
Starks makes 2 now, and he's good, as we've said many times in these situations at the line. We've got a 6-point game.
And Mike Dunleavy takes a timeout. 4:09 remaining in the game. So the Knicks hanging around the Bucks.
Three-point shooting, which tells the story many times with the Knicks and Bucks. The Knicks catching up to the Bucks with 3, the Bucks 4. Last time they played, it was 7-1 in favor of the Bucks here in Milwaukee.
Neither following the Knicks and the Milwaukee Bucks. It'll be Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk, and then the Rangers and the Vancouver Canucks from Vancouver, which will be joined in progress. The coverage of that game will begin on MSG2, and then we'll switch to Rangers and the Canucks. Meanwhile, the Knicks are within 6. Bucks have led by as many as 13. 4 minutes remaining of the game.
Knicks have lifted up their defensive intensity.
9-2 run by the Knicks. Oakley broke it up. Barry on the recovery. Big bucket for the rookie from Georgia Tech, John Barry. 3 field goals and 7 points for Barry. Bucks lead 85-77.
Mike Dunleavy showing a lot of faith in having the rookie out here now.
Rivers for 3. Yes, Doc Rivers. Back in his hometown, hitting on his second three-pointer. 12-4 run, and the Knicks are within 5. With much time remaining, 3:20 to go in this fourth quarter. And the foul called by Steve Javy against the Knicks. Holding foul on Rivers. For Doc, only his first, but it puts the Knicks over the foul limit. And Murdoch will go to the line, a 75% free throw shooter, averaging 14 points per game. Eric Murdoch in his second season out of Providence College. Native of Bridgewater, New Jersey. Giving the Bucks a 7-point lead. Game that has seen 5 technical fouls called against the Knicks. And you look at the scoreboard, that of great significance with a 7-point lead. 2 against Pat Riley, who gets the automatic ejection. Rivers for 3. Gathered in. Good hustle by Oakley, and he is fouled. Frank Brakowski commits number 5.
Good pursuit by Ewing, getting that hand in there, following that shot. That's a big part of the success Oakley then enjoyed by getting an opportunity.
Oakley 2 of 2 from the line. His stat line, 10 points and 15 rebounds. Bucks 87. The Knicks 81. 2:53 to go in this fourth quarter. Third of 4 meetings between these two clubs, split the previous 2. For the Knicks start of a 3-game road trip. A play at Detroit on Friday. That's our next Knick telecast. Knicks go to pressure. They double up on Shays. Brakowski back to help. He can handle the ball. Brakowski splits through and then lost it. That could be a critical turnover. I want to give the ball to Ewing on the run.
Ewing responded well, though.
Rivers is fouled. Knicks are doing a good job as they have fought their way back into it. They've come from 13 down. It has not been a particularly impressive effort by the Knicks in the second half. Parry called for the foul. Rivers, who has been a dependable free throw shooter, will go to the line.
Fortunately for the Knicks, the guards are creating defensive pressure by driving that ball to the basket.
Well, Doc Rivers has usually done very well down the stretch at the line. Overall, 86% free throw shooter. Bucks now lead 87-83.
Well, the Knicks pride themselves on defense. Now it's got to be the very best they can present.
Here's Barry. And it's recovered by Shays. The Bucks reset the offense. And the call against Oakley.
Oh, that's a hard one to figure. Brakowski gave Oakley a massage around the neck. You rarely see Oakley object like this. Brakowski, look at this. Trying to get around Oakley, puts his hand around his neck. Burkowski's a rough guy, and he got it his way.
Both teams over the limit. Burkowski 73% free throw shooter. Milwaukee Bucks have not been shooting well at the line in recent games, only 68% last 11 games, so they have been off. And this is by Burkowski, but again, Shays gets to the rebound. Danny Shays with a sensational game off the boards.
Ewing didn't box him out, Marv. Gave him no consideration.
14 rebounds for Shays. Now Shays with the jumper. And the call last touched by the Knicks. It'll be Milwaukee ball, minute 41 remaining in the game. The Bucks with a 4-point lead. Frank Burkowski was cut. Mike Dunleavy calling for a 20-second timeout. Steve Javy pointing to a cut on the nose of Burkowski, and the Bucks decide to take a timeout rather than have to substitute for Burkowski. We'll be back in a moment.
Here our AT&T long-distance shooting demonstration here by Doc Rivers. That brought the Knicks to within 5. But Danny Shays is having a gigantic game this evening.
14 points, 14 rebounds for Shays. Knicks have 3 full timeouts and a 20. Bucks with 2 and a 20. 4-point Milwaukee lead. Lohaus could not find anyone, so to prevent the 5-second violation, he uses the 20-second timeout. That last 20 was changed to a full timeout, so Milwaukee now with 2 full timeouts remaining. This program is authorized by Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event without the express written consent of Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated is prohibited. Minute 41 remaining in the game. Bucks have the full 24. That 13-point lead is down to 4. Milwaukee trying to use the clock. Burkowski laid tightly by Oakley. Ewing all over Shays. Getting help from Rivers. Shot clock at 5. A heave by Murdoch. And Oakley able to pick up the loose ball.
Thanks to Rivers going for that long rebound.
Minute 10 remaining in the game. Knicks down by 4. Good defense by the Bucks. Good switching. Shot clock at 5. Ewing. Oakley with the rebound. Yes, and it counts. What a play by Charles Oakley. Crowd wanted a travel on Ewing, who took that high dribble, but Oakley converts, and he'll go to the line. The foul committed by Burkowski, his 6th.
Ewing so determined to get that shot up, which he succeeds in doing, but Oakley's got the position and the touch. And in characteristic fashion, heads to the floor.
For Charles, this may be his best all-around performance of the season. 14 points, 17 rebounds. He is 4 for 4 from the line. The Knicks with a 17-6 surge over the last 6 minutes. 3-point play for Oakley to bring the Knicks within 1. 55 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Bucks at 1 point, led by 13. Murdoch gives it up. Here's Barry.
Boy, that looked like an extra step or 2 from Murdoch.
Shot clock at 4. Shays. Let's see what the call is here. It is a block on Rivers.
Dick Carter was trying to sell a charge. The Knicks are always thinking, drawing the offensive foul, as Rivers does. But he got there too late.
Shea's 6 of 8 from the line, 83%, as I mentioned earlier, best free throw shooter on the Bucks. But they continue to struggle at the free throw line in particular in the fourth quarter. For the game, they are 15 for 24. 1 point, Milwaukee lead. 35 seconds left in the game. Bucks 88, Knicks 86, and the Knicks call for time. Will be Knicks and the Pistons from the Palace. We'll be on hand starting with Knicks game night at 7. Our game coverage begins at 7:30. Game 2 of this 3-game road trip that will continue on Sunday afternoon against the Nets at the New Jersey Meadowlands. An 18-7 run by the Knicks over the last 6.5 minutes, and they're down by 2. The shaky free throw shooting by the Bucks has hurt them in this fourth quarter. They're 9 for 15 at the foul line. Fred Roberts has replaced Frank Burkowski, who fouled out. Burkowski with 16 points. And here comes Rivers. We're down to a half minute to go in this fourth quarter.
Knicks will want to go to Ewing.
And he drew the foul. It's on Shea's. Both teams have been over the limit for some time. Shea's called for his 4th. Ewing to the line. It's been a very quiet night for Patrick Ewing in foul trouble. Right from the start, 12 points for Ewing, 2 for 2 from the line. Now he has improved his work at the line in the fourth quarter. He has come up big in recent weeks.
Well, he's focusing on the rim, that's for certain.
Knicks down by 1. 27 seconds left in regulation. 1 of 2, but the back tap from Oakley to Mason. Snatched by Ewing. Knicks down by 1. Call for time with 21 seconds remaining, and that, from the Knicks point of view, was the best possible play. We'll be back right after these words. It has come down to this, 21 and 5/10 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Knicks down by 1, 19 on the shot clock, and have a chance to take the lead. You may recall the last visit to Milwaukee, December 26th. Knicks were down by 2, had a chance to tie the game, and it was Ewing off balance, rimming the basket, and that was it as the Bucks won in overtime.
And here we are in the same exact situation, and I would be very surprised if this man wasn't the target of the Knicks offense now. But Dick Carter's at the helm. Let's see what he's designed.
Pat Riley ejected off consecutive technical fouls earlier in the second half. Knicks setting it up. Bucks 88, Knicks 87. Ewing puts the move on event and hits. The Knicks lead by 1. Milwaukee calls for time with 10 and 9/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. So this time, Patrick Ewing is able to convert. We'll be back in Milwaukee in a moment.
Hill climb for the Knicks, but they finally have gotten ahead of the Bucks. Their defense did it, and now their offense. A high pick and roll for Patrick Ewing from John Starks. Ewing has practiced this shot all game, and he saved the best for last. However, with 10 and 9/10 seconds to go, the Bucks have their chance now to come back and get ahead of the Knicks.
Fred Roberts will throw in. The Knicks do have a delay of game to give if they want.
Amazed at Mike Dunleavy sticking with rookie John Barry.
22nd timeout is taken by the Knicks. So the Knicks have 1 full timeout remaining. Milwaukee with 2 timeouts left. Yes, Mike Dunleavy going with a very young backcourt, although Alvin Robertson, I I mentioned earlier, did head back to the Milwaukee locker room. We never got word as to why. I would think that if Robertson were available, he'd be on the floor. And now the electronic wizard Howie Singer getting word direct from the Buck bench that he's suffering from a touch of the flu.
Well, Blue Edwards, such an explosive player on the bench for the Bucks now.
10 and 9/10 seconds. Remaining fourth quarter. Roberts will trigger it. Murdoch. Squeeze between Rivers and Oakley. Down to 5 seconds. Lohaus is fouled. Fouled by Ewing. With 4 and 8/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Ewing called for his fourth. And it comes down to Brad Lohaus, who is not a good foul shooter at 67% for the season. He is 2 for 2 this evening.
Knicks have one timeout left. They're caught a signaling timeout, depending on what Brad Lohaus does.
The Knicks by 1. The game is tied at 89. 17 points for Lohaus.
Ewing and Oakley must box out.
Bucks by 1, and the Knicks take their final timeout. 4 and 8/10 seconds remaining in regulation. And 8/10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. The Bucks now have a 1-point lead. Here's that last call on Patrick Ewing, the foul call on Ewing that sent Brad Lohaus to the free throw line, and then he hit the 2 foul shots.
Ewing ran it off. He didn't want a technical. He was frustrated, but he challenged that shot. He went after that ball instead of putting his hands straight up in the air and trying to bother the shooter. He went after it, tried to block the shot.
Knicks do not have any timeouts left. Mason will throw in.
Got to get into the sure hands of Rivers.
And that is the delay of game that the Bucks had. And Lohaus stepping out of bounds, so the Bucks were able to check out the alignment. And now Mason can't find anybody. Has to fire it. He got it to Starks. Here's Starks feeding Oakley. A won't count. We got a whistle and a foul on Milwaukee. Steve Javy with the call along the baseline. With 2 and 6/10 seconds remaining, Shea's called for that foul. Here's another look at it.
Guts move by Mason. Patience till the very end. John Starks does a nice job of drawing the foul. Bob, if you want someone at the line, it's him.
And he has tied the game at 90. Starks 8 for 9 from the line.
John Starks now has the game in his hands.
Starks has been an excellent free throw shooter. Hits both. Knicks lead by 1. Clutch foul shooting at both ends. First by Brad Lohaus, and now by John Starks. Milwaukee takes a timeout with 2 and 6/10 seconds remaining.
Back and forth now to the point where the Bucks have their key decision to make. Take a look at Starks after this last foul shot. He loved what he saw, as did his teammates and backup head coach Dick Harder.
As Dick Harder, assisted by Jeff Van Gundy, running the club in the absence of Pat Riley, ejected with the consecutive technical fouls. Knicks have come from 13 down, and they lead 91-90. 2 and 6/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Bucks do not have any timeouts left. The Knicks do not have any timeout left. And Roberts will throw in. Knicks do not obviously want to foul. And the pass off the mark. It'll be Nick Ball.
Oakley creamed Ewing. That's what the contact was.
So the Knicks will throw in. Knicks were trying to call for a timeout to regroup, but they're told they don't have any. And Oakley will throw in, and he wants people to move to the front court. Confusion right now. All the Knicks were in the back court. They forgot which way they were going.
They don't want the ball.
Mason is run into by Roberts with 1 7/10 seconds remaining. So Anthony Mason will go to the line. He is just under 70% at the free throw line.
What a shining moment for Dick Carter, who naturally has sublimated himself as an assistant coach. With the presence of Pat Riley, he's done it so well. He doesn't want headlines, but he has been forced to step forth tonight. And what a glorious moment he must be feeling right now.
Yes, Dick had great success at Penn, at Oregon, Penn State. One-time head coach of the Charlotte Hornets. Pat Riley has given him a lot of credit for helping design the successful Knick defensive play. 1 7/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks lead by 1. Bucks do not have any timeouts left. Mason misses both. And they'll jump it up. The clock showing no time. Let's wait for the official indication. The officials talking it over. And the key here is, as the officials discuss it,
buzzer on the clock.
There was no buzzer.
Did not work together, and everyone's awaiting the sound of the buzzer.
But it will be a jump ball should they continue at the Knick end of the court. And they are resetting the clock. 5/10 of a second remaining. And the Knicks do not want to foul. That's the key. Both teams are over the limit.
You also don't want the Bucks player to tip the ball in on the toss, which could happen.
He could tip.
It sure would, but it's been done.
Yes. Roberts and Mason, and that's it. Now, wait a moment. Will that have counted? I thought the horn went off, but there was no indication. That was some shot, some heave. But the Knicks have come from 13 down and have defeated the Bucks here in Milwaukee, 91-90. With Dick Carter and Jeff Van Gundy running the club, Pat Riley ejected. The Knicks with a come-from-behind effort, sparked by the play of Charles Oakley, John Starks. Patrick Ewing came on late. Oakley finished with 15 points and 17 rebounds. All right, here's another look at that last-second heave off the tip. And Murdoch with time running down. Nope, it would have been too late. Not bad for a hook from the back
replay
court.
was allowed.
So the final, the Knicks 91, the Bucks 90. We'll be back to recap it in a moment.
Did a nice job. Actually, he was with the team when
With 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Knicks were down to the Bucks 81-68, and they come up with the win 91-90. The Knicks now have won 4 straight, 11 of the last 12. They're 36-16. The Nets lost earlier tonight, so they are now 6.5 in front of the Nets, and the Knicks now 13-12 on the road.
Barbara, was their defense too that did it, but we'll take a look now at Anthony Mason's tremendous decision-making right to the very last 10th of a second. The clock is ticking away. He's got 5 seconds. He gets it into Starks, who goes baseline, gives it off to Oakley, but Starks was fouled on the play and came through at the line. Not a big surprise for John Starks.
Well, the Knicks certainly have depth off the bench, and depth in the coaching ranks as Dick Harder and Jeff Van Gundy combined to coach the Knicks to the victory.
How about that conservative reaction by Dick Harder, suppressing what he must be feeling inside?
Following along the lines of the head coach, Pat Riley. That's our player of the game, our NatWest Banks player of the game, Charles Oakley, who had a magnificent performance with 15 points, 17 rebounds. He was 5 for 7 from the field. He was 5 for 5 from the line. Our guests on these Knick telecasts receive a gift from Bulova. Make every minute count with timeless elegance and precision design. The Marine Star collection from Bulova. And we'll be back in a moment to run down the individual scoring totals as the Knicks come from behind to beat the Bucks.
The Bud Dunk of the game.
Tony
the Rangers
Amonte
score. It's the only power play goal.
Wow, this
will drink it.
Absolutely no idea. From Messier. Now watch how he battles and battles and battles to get the stick loose.
Role of a guard, bringing the ball up court, giving it off, and then Anthony Mason rather
would have been a two-man advantage, and the puck goes in. You'll see Amonte get knocked down and find a way to get the stick on the puck and in behind Whitmore. Unbelievable.
Great play. Great effort by Tony Amonte and Eddie Olczyk. He was fighting off the hook of Plavsic, and Amonte,
including the winning free throws. Patrick Ewing in foul trouble throughout, finished 6 of 14 with 15 points. Charles Oakley, his best all-around game of the season, 15 points and 17 rebounds. Charles hit 5 out of 7 from the line. Charles Smith only 4 of 14 for 12. Doc Rivers hit a couple of clutch three-point shots to help the Knicks get back into it. Brad Lohaus leading the Bucks off the bench. In fact, the Bucks bench did the job. They led by as many as 13, but they could not hold on. Brakowski at 16. Shays with a very strong all-around game at 15. Murdoch 12. And Robertson had 11. So the Knicks go to 36 and 16 with the Nets losing. They're now 6.5 in front of the second place Nets. Knicks have won 4 straight, 11 of their last 12, and they are now over 500 on the road. That's the final. The Knicks 91 and the Bucks 90. Marv Albert, John Andre saying so long from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Our next Knicks broadcast Friday night. It'll be the Knicks and the Pistons from the Palace. Coming up next, Bob Page with the MSG Sports Desk, and we'll be picking up the Rangers and the Canucks from Vancouver. Thanks for tuning in. A victory for the Knicks. They come from 13 back to beat the Bucks.
Zubov picked the puck out of midair, put it down, and then you're going to see 2 great passes and even a great shot by Messier. Right now, Eddie Olczyk is down behind the goal and very slow getting up. Very slow getting up as the Rangers congratulate one another. Are they ever moving the puck around here? Zubov knocked the puck down. You'll see him there. He's pinched. He's knocked into the boards, and here he recovers. Heads up play. Watch the 2 passes. See how Amonte's opening up to make a reception of the pass? Then he moves it to Messier, and there's a shot, top corner. Beautiful play in the Canucks zone. Amonte raced over to get open, so Zubov had someone to pass the puck to. Everybody started going towards Amonte, so he gave it back to Messier.
And Momesso with the hit on Olczyk after the goal was scored. Rangers have taken the lead. That was not a power play goal. It came just as the power play had expired. It's Messier's first goal in 11 games. He had gone 10 games without a goal. It's only his second goal in 20 games.
But he's getting lots of assists, Sam.
Yes.
Lots of them.
Diddick down low running. He looks for a shot. Save Van Beesbrook. Bork's got the puck. Rangers at 2-1 lead. 3:20 remaining in the first period. Linden's got the puck. Now Momesso with a touch pass to Ronning.
Now that was not a power play goal, but was the first one? Rangers' first goal?
Sure was.
Yeah, I didn't hear you say it's a power play goal.
Yes, I did.
Absolutely,
okay.
John.
Dominic Roussel and Sean Burke get into it. The Whalers aren't good, but they're entertaining in a variety of ways. Sean Burke getting the best of that. And then the 2 goalies stood there and just talked to one another after they beat each other. I know, it's hockey. 5-2 the final. Lindros had 2. He's got 27. 29 penalty minutes. 29 penalties totaling 97 minutes. Murray Craven, his goal for Hartford is 200th of his career. Deneen and Lindros had a pair of goals apiece. The Rangers are in Vancouver. They are knotted at 2.
He loves playing here. The ice, the game's faster. He moves around Dana Merzen here with great speed. Merzen simply couldn't stay with him. And Messier had a rolling puck to contend with, got control of it, got the goaltender to move. There he is blowing around Merzen. Now that's fast.
That's it. Good speed.
Oh, baby. Got the puck to almost sit down and then went back against the grain, beating Whitmore to the low side, and we're tied at 3.
Crowd was still cheering the announcement on the Bure goal, and Messier just flew in. And the crowd just, oh, it's tied. Good play by Messier, who's having quite a game. 2 goals and an assist for Mark Messier. Lume centers. Sandlack takes it in deep. Tried to center, it was blocked. Peter Anderson moves it off the boards. Lume keeps it in for Vancouver. 12:15 to go in the second, tied 3-3. Sandlack taken away by Anderson. Olczyk, little behind Amonte as he was racing up the middle and got his skates tangled up and fell down. Canucks move down. Jeff Courtnall, he's upended by Anderson. Duncanson able to clear the zone. The goals, Bure, his 49th from Slager at 7-11. 15 seconds later, Messier is second of the game, 21st of the season from Olczyk and Amonte. That shot by Paul Broughton went wide. Amonte now with a goal and an assist, and Olczyk with 2 assists in the game. So that line is really clicking.
Yeah, they really do good things out there. Olczyk leaves the zone to pull a defenseman out. Messier and Amonte, with their great speed, can find open ice. And they've really worked well together. They like the fact that they're playing as a unit, and it's showing.
Van Beesbrook leaves it for Bookeboom. Bookeboom put it up into the crowd, and play stops with 11:11 remaining. Second period, tied 3-3.
It's President's Month at your Tri dealer. Get a great deal on a new Civic. If you went to Washington...